In this episode of John Teaches Guitar, we'll take a look at 5 chords you can play with one finger. Go wash your hands.
Hey, it's John McNicholas. Let's take a look at 5 chords you can play with just one finger. The first one we're going to look at is E minor. So for an E minor chord, you're going to place your index finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. And you're going to strum the 4th string and down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's take a look at the G major chord. So for the G major chord, you're going to place your ring finger or 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the E string or the 1st string, the skinniest string. And you're going to play the 4th string and down again. Next, let's take a look at a G7 chord, kind of a bluesy sounding chord. So for this chord, you're going to place your index finger or your 1st finger on the 1st fret of the E string. And then you're going to strum, once again, from the 4th string and down. Kind of a bluesy sound, that's your G7. Next, let's take a look at a C major chord. This is one of the first chords kids learn. We're going to place your 1st finger or your index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, and you're going to strum just the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st string, so we're going to avoid all the big thick strings. So we're just playing 3, 2, and 1. Finally, let's look at one that's a little bit harder. This is an A major chord. And I'm playing that with my index finger, my 1st finger, across the 2nd fret of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string. So this one's a little bit more challenging. It's what they call a bar chord. So you've got to get your 1st finger down there and kind of squish it all together, and you're going to play the 5th string and down, but don't worry about the note on the 1st string. So you're going to play 5, 4, 3, and 2. And that is going to be an A major chord. So now let's take a look at a couple of songs you can play with one finger chord. First up, we've got Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles. That is just going to have an E minor and a C chord. So if we look at the verse, Eleanor Rigby, ba 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 ba, where a wedding has C, lives in an E minor at the window, wearing a face that she keeps in a jar by the sea. Who is it, E minor? Apologies for my stellar singing voice. Let's take a look at another one. This is called All I Want Is You by U2. We're just going to take a look at the chorus here because that's where you can really hear it. So we've got E minor, then C, from the E minor to the C, G, C, G, C, G. And you can play the verse with those same chords. Well, thanks for listening. Please rate and review the podcast on your platform of choice. Give me all the thumbs up and all the stars, and follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. If you've got a topic you'd like me to cover, let me know by getting a hold of me in the following places. JohnTeachesGuitar.com. On Facebook, Instagram, and Threads, you can find me at John Teaches Guitar, and on YouTube, X, and Mastodon at John McNicholas. And check out my Patreon over at patreon.com/John McNicholas. Show notes and more information can be found in the description of this podcast. Grab a guitar, let's play.